My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system, which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Notice: intellectual property theft is particularly egregious and equally unlawful where the sole inventor and creator of the intellectual property is the targeted individual. Erica Lorraine Spencer, subject to the unconstitutional and inhumane government system of gang stalking. Notice: intellectual property theft is particularly egregious and equally unlawful where the sole inventor and creator of the intellectual property is the targeted individual. Erica Lorraine Spencer, subject to the unconstitutional and inhumane government system of gang stalking, otherwise referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices, because of which the intellectual property created by the targeted individual, who is, in fact, Erica Lorraine Spencer, as the intellectual property also proves, serves to establish via evidence and expose the existence of criminal surveillance and thus an inherent threat posed by the U.S. government and the civilian population sharing engagement in the unlawful system. Such evidence, that includes all of the content created by Erica Lorraine Spencer, images, videos, audio, etc., belongs solely and entirely to Erica Lorraine Spencer only and is necessarily published online in order to protect her life, safety, and liberty as the targeted individual, who is also the intellectual property owner, no less protected from theft procured through targeting by a public entity. Theft of any intellectual property belonging to Erica Lorraine Spencer, which is necessarily committed while she, being both creator and inventor, remains oppressed by the public entity via criminal surveillance, is a criminal and inhumane means of infringement under all circumstances and not protected nor enforceable pursuant to any invalid or fraudulent acts of copyright, trademarks, patents, etc., including as it pertains to any ideas associated with or generated from the intellectual property or the intellectual property owner, Erica Lorraine Spencer, whether creative, business, or otherwise, nor does the intellectual property owner consent to any such means of infringement and theft. GUB 814, and this is Elite Field Transportation Incorporated. Their license plate is 4VD9830. The people of the state are gang stalking. They're maintaining activity creation by pacing in traffic, and your knowledge of that is based on the impossible light activity. For example, when I'm seated inside of Starbucks and light is flying simultaneous with their driving by. They're pacing in the specific environment. They're doing that day and night, not just when the fake sun is sitting over that Starbucks all day long. The fake sun is your indicator regarding criminal surveillance of a demonic nature, and it's obviously demonic as well. These demons are still engaging in that, and there are demons following as I'm walking up Euclid 9SV. I can't really see that one, but there are demons flying commercial airline planes from the Ontario International Airport as I cross as I cross Euclid, then as I cross as I cross Holt Boulevard from the museum, then as I cross B Street, and I just crossed C Street, and the entity is maintaining amplified plane activity as I walk north up the street. The sound of traffic is combined with the sound of amplified plane activity. Planes are following me while I'm walking north up the street. So I want to document that. License 46096B2, loitering in the path, maintaining presence in the path while the demons are maintaining amplified plane activity, light activity, by pacing in traffic, and these demons are wearing neon orange shirts and hard hats. They're gang stalkers. License 03632E2. Latinos engaging in that pattern of conduct, Latino males. They're just maintaining presence in the path, the entity, and I'm merely identifying those that are maintaining presence in the path while the entity, the City of Ontario, is engaged in criminal monitoring. It's currently 6:55 a.m. So the Ontario International Airport, Union Pacific Railroad, the guides under which the satanic volume level of train activity is sounding at the museum. The demons are doing this for purposes of monitoring as a city all night while I'm at the museum. This is the government that's going to be prosecuted for criminal monitoring, and this is the same government that engaged in what is kidnapping on May 29, 2025. So the people of the state that are gang stalking, the people of the state are engaged in what is kidnapping as well. And that's also what I've documented while the entity is maintaining the specific environment. 9GUI 107, go ahead. License 9HGR710. And so the entity is stalking with amplified plane activity while I'm walking in the direction north. I'm crossing Holt Boulevard, I'm crossing B Street, I'm crossing C Street, and the entity is as though there's a plane taking off every time I'm crossing these streets, walking in the direction north toward Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue. It's currently 6:56 a.m. and the entity is gang stalking overnight by the Ontario Police Department. The entity is gang stalking by the Ontario Police Department. They're not engaging in what is the lawful use of law enforcement resources. They're not engaged in what is just patrolling in the sky space. They are stalking me specifically. They are flying over me, stalking me specifically. Gang stalking, it's crossing path, it's demonic, and it's relevant to what is criminal monitoring. And they're doing this overnight at that Starbucks, they're doing this overnight at the museum. While I am asleep there, which the Ontario Police Department are very much aware while they're stalking, because they're engaged in targeting. So they're not engaged in surveillance. They're not engaged in what is just coincidentally flying over me and flying around me. They're gang stalking. And that is proven by LAPD's engagement in gang stalking me, where I'm living in Los Angeles in the specific environment where there could not possibly be a sun over me in LA, where the LAPD are engaging in the same conduct. They're not coincidentally flying over my apartment that has a sun over it all day long. They're not coincidentally just and ignorantly engaging in the demonic pattern of flying in circles for 48 minutes in relevant position to my apartment where the fake sun rises and sets, where the entity is engaging in what is targeting. That's exactly what the Ontario Police Department is doing, also known based on the pattern of conduct by stalking law enforcement agencies who are exhibiting demon possession. They are stalking on a 24-hour basis when I am documenting helicopter activity, when I'm documenting relevant positioning by the Ontario Police Department, and they're doing that overnight. So I want to make sure that that's documented because the entity is doing so with knowledge that they're being documented. I published the playlist speaking to over 22 times since the release of Kidnapping by the Ontario Police Department. Well, not just the Ontario Police Department, because this is state action. Starbucks is a third party. Starbucks is gang stalking. Starbucks is engaged in the pattern of conduct. The entity engaged in kidnapping together. This very specific and unique pattern of conduct is underway by an entity that committed a kidnapping together as well. And this is also what I've documented pursuant to more than one kidnapping. And the people of the state keep a fake sun while I am subject to a kidnapping by the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. And a demon is driving those Sheriff's Department vehicles where the fake sun remains over, just like you see on Omnitrans. That's what Shannon Dykes' San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department engage in. They're demons, and they've engaged in kidnapping in the same manner when I'm exhibiting that fake sun on video. This is what's happening with regard to the specific environment where demons are engaged in kidnapping, and so are the people of the state. While I'm kidnapped by the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department and a fake sun remains over me, I'm being molested with impossible light that floats on the inside of that bus while I'm chained up like a prisoner, and the entity is engaged in what is the exercise of fictitious authority under the law. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department is seeing gang stalking, even at Woodside Senior Apartments under the fake sun, going out of their way to stalk me at that facilitating venue. And you can clearly see the fake sun at 12:53 in the
afternoon during daylight savings time, where the entity is keeping the fake sun now over all day long at 507 North Euclid Avenue at the Starbucks, where the entity is now keeping the fake sun at 6:59 a.m. in alignment to me while I'm walking toward this Starbucks, which I'm going to capture right now. This is the entity that is engaging in that stalking with amplified plane activity all night long at the museum, stalking by the Ontario Police Department while I'm at the museum, ongoing terrorism, ongoing stalking conduct, which is part of the record. The entity is engaging in what is ongoing impunity while they're terrorism, while they're stalking, unprecedented stalking by police. Not a conspiracy, a fact. And it's relevant to gang stalking, which is also not a conspiracy. Targeted individuals, they are actual, I have established that target individual is a real thing, and those that have claimed to be target individuals lacking evidence, that's even part of the pattern of conduct by the entity. To make sure those people are promoted, those that are hallucinating, those that don't have evidence, those that don't make any sense about being targeted, and those that have engaged in what are egregious acts against other people while they're at the same time claiming that they're targeted individuals, that's a part of the pattern of conduct as well. It's a part of what this country wants to cover up, that they are targeting individuals to murder and kidnap them, and they are using entire satanic illusions when they're stalking them obsessively, stalking them with amplified noise, which is demonic, a noise that doesn't even come from the planes that are flying in the sky. They're stalking in the sky space, but the plane activity is demonic. It's as demonic as the sun sitting over Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue from 11:11 a.m. until 7:26 p.m. It's as demonic as that. It's as supernatural as that, but it's very real, and that's why I documented on video for the world to see. That's all deliberate, though, but it's also highly unintelligent. And with regard to a federal prosecution, those illusions are going to be used against the psychopaths who are indeed gang stalking. And it includes Jason Isaac Fields, it includes Tracy Banks, it includes the Ontario Police Department. B. Hook, he's going to federal prison. The Ontario International Airport is engaged in gang stalking just like he was on May 29, 2025. Elle Martinez, she's going to federal prison. She was engaged in gang stalking just like the Ontario International Airport is right now in conformity to the City of Ontario and every demon-possessed gang stalker in the City of Ontario, just like she was when she committed kidnapping pursuant to gang stalking on May 29, 2025. When you're standing, I'm standing here on D Street, in between D Street and E Street. There's no plane that's going to be competing. You're not even going to hear planes when they're taking off from the Ontario International Airport. Okay? The entity is engaging in what is hovering in the sky space, while demons like third party 9GRW039 is gang stalking. 6NTD066 350BLOF. They're all demons. They're all gang stalking. 8MLU749. ISSA 143 9KYN 404. They're all stalking while you have hovering plane activity coming from no airport taking off. It's audible activity. They're stalking. 9DTZ362. And they're stalking where the fake sun is in alignment to me right now at 7 a.m., which is not going to be reflecting off of the windows of Tracy Banks's Woodside Senior Apartments, where all those demons in units 33 through 64 are stalking. Like this aged, liver spot covered, white gang stalking demon in the middle of the parking lot with his communication device out while he's stalking in the path right now. Somebody that I don't know and you don't have to know when you're recognizing the pattern of conduct. They're stalking in the path. The path is maintained with regard to stalking when the entity is keeping something like a clear indicator, like a fake sun over the building where I'm inside of. That's how you know, and that's how it's already proven. The Ontario Police Department is always stalking me. They're flying over other people, but they're targeting me at all hours of the day, and that's why every single video is showing gang stalking by the Ontario Police Department. You're not engaged in targeting some hours and not targeting in other hours. The entity is maintaining the specific environment at all times. Never is the natural environment going to include your shadow being on both sides of your person, your shadow being above your head, your shadow being laid out like a deck of cards around your person, your shadow being magnified in size upright in front of you. The demons of the Ontario Police Department are gang stalking with the people of the state. And they're doing so on video while you hear the Ontario International Airport provide evidence against the City of Ontario that includes Nathan Morgan, who engaged in kidnapping on May 29, 2025, where there is no takeoff from Terminal 2 and Terminal 4 hovering over me in this parking lot where I'm in between the Arco and what is this is D Street and E Street, Euclid Avenue, 370 Euclid Avenue, the apartment complex. And this is also, again, out of conformity. At what point are they ever coming from Terminal 2 and Terminal 4, the airport, taking off, not engaging in targeting in the City of Ontario with planes, and hovering over Woodside Senior Apartments, even flying over that sky space? When you're taking off, they have to go in a direction north. They have to fly in a direction, what is northwest, to even be in a sky space, even anywhere near Woodside Senior Apartments. And it's all known to be targeting because a fake son sat over Woodside Senior Apartments, where this entity committed kidnapping. This is exactly what Starbucks is engaging in, where the entity is engaging in what is the unlawful seizure of your person. It's a kidnapping where it's happening at Starbucks, where the fake son is rising underway. The police are stalking. The police don't have probable cause or reasonable suspicion. The police are there pursuant to criminal summoning when they're stalking you the entire time. That's what they committed at Woodside, and that's why those officers are going to prison. They're not actual law enforcement officers. I'm exposing to you what are terrorist organizations in the U.S. They're stalking American citizens, targeting, and they're delusional psychopaths. They are raging maniacs. They're demon-possessed stalkers, obsessed with my vagina. They're obsessed with your genitalia. They're obsessed with how often you breathe. They're obsessed with what time you go to sleep, if you go to sleep. They're obsessed with where you go, who you talk to, what you talk about, what you're thinking about, what you're eating. That's what the demon possesses. It's not just physically following your person. This is demonic. All right, it's currently... It's the morning of June 10, 2025, where the Ontario International Airport is stalking as I walk in the direction north, which is evident while the people of the state are gang stalking. They've already shown what they're doing. They're stalking with light. That's why it's existing inside of Starbucks while they drive by. 04994X2 is a demon, a terrorist, stalking with the illusion that they have some sort of light shooter, some sort of light slinger. That's a demon, stalking with light. Monitoring, knowing exactly who I am as a whole entity. A bunch of demon-possessed people, 9EXP425, acting in furtherance of a conspiracy by a government to kill and kidnap someone. That's what the people of the state are engaging in. And you see those who call themselves mothers and fathers inside of Starbucks acting in furtherance of that conspiracy. It's currently 7:05 a.m. It is June 10, 2025. This is P.O.C.
Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes, and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state, and it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state.
All right, this is the entity keeping the fake sun right here. This is the fake sun right here. And while I'm walking from the museum, I've already documented the sunrise into the sunset at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, where the Ontario Police Department maintained helicopter activity overnight while I was sleeping, flying over me, gang stalking me specifically, not just flying over everybody in the city of Ontario. These are demons that are stalking in the path, psychopaths, okay? Focused on you. Let me sit there where she's standing and keep my foot on the brake so that I can add some light activity, and now let me get in the car because she knows that those are demons. Okay, that's literally what they're doing. All they're doing is stalking, and the fake sun is the indicator. There is no sunrise outside of my bedroom window in a natural environment in Los Angeles. This is what I'm routinely documenting in Los Angeles, where LAPD is gang stalking. And the entity is maintaining amplified plane activity where there's no Terminal 2 or Terminal 4. Over in between D Street and E Street, where demons are stalking in the path with light, and the entity is maintaining the fake sun over this Starbucks. Remember, from 11 o'clock, it's 7, 8 right now, 8, 9, 10, 4 hours later to get across the street, and it doesn't go anywhere further while I'm inside of that Starbucks from 11 till after 7 p.m. The Ontario International Airport is gang stalking, doing donuts in the sky space, targeting me. That's called stalking in the path. That's not taking flight off, engaging in any destination. They're monitoring with these demons. 8KCJ070, that's cross the path, light activity, audible activity. 8CNV410, demons driving school buses, in case you did not know that. Bringing their kids inside of Starbucks to monitor me. 1667517, 1358637. Montclair School District, a bunch of demons driving school buses. teaching children to be sex offenders and teaching them how to be demons that are targeting American citizens. They're driving school buses. AWY26G, that's Arkansas. And this is the fake sun, the fake sun that's still here after 7 p.m. seen through the drive-through window of Starbucks right here. These are all demons who are pacing. This is pacing. They're all moving in engineered light while a whole airport follows me around in the city, which is what I'm documenting on the podcast. Nathan Morgan, who was stalking under a fake sun, L. Martinez, Tracy Banks, Jason Fields, engaged in gang stalking associated with Tracy Banks, engaging in what is conspiring against me as a gang stalker, acting with the state, every city that I'm going to, every police department. Don't forget about the Pomona Police Department. Don't forget about the Arcadia Police Department. Don't forget about Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Don't forget about Nevada State Police. Don't forget about the Pasadena Police Department, because I documented them while they're keeping a fake sun right here over now East Street and Euclid Avenue when I'm no longer at Woodside Senior Apartments, where it's certainly not going to be over Tracy Banks' front door, which is also not going to be in conformity with what is remaining in Los Angeles, which I'm documenting also when you're looking at the natural environment and what is clearly an environment and indicating stalking by an entity, 9PAT296. And that's why the significance of having planes that are flying in alignment with me and making a U-turn, they're pacing, just like this is all pacing. This is all pacing, driving in one direction, driving in the other direction, driving in this direction, stalking in the path while they're filling up your gas tank. These are a league of demons who are maintaining the elements of monitoring. And the entity was maintaining plane activity over the museum all night long, doing just that, flying and making U-turns, repeatedly pacing, patrolling over me, pursuant to the demonic pattern of conduct at 7:09 a.m., 6W86269. The entity is maintaining this fake sun. It's over this Starbucks right here at 507 North Euclid Avenue at 11:11 a.m. This is clear stalking. And remember, the Ontario Police Department are gang stalking by keeping their back to me, stalking in the path at that while I'm inside of this Starbucks at 11:54 a.m. Like I documented, where all these demons are lined up right now, stalking at this Arco, at this Chevron at 11:54. While you're looking at the fake sun right here, remember the psychopaths of the Ontario Police who are gang stalking. Who's going to federal prison? L. Martinez, B. Hook, Nathan Morgan, C. Torres. Gang stalking in the specific environment where the demons are clearly identified as engaging in what is targeting as an entity. And they're psychopaths that do it as a whole city. They don't have to talk to you, and they don't have to address you. They're creating activity and monitoring you all around while you're in that specific environment. LAPD is telling on Nathan Morgan and C. Torres and B. Hook because they're all going to federal prison. They committed a kidnapping pursuant to what is criminal monitoring on top of that. And they're going to federal prison for it, and it's exactly what I'm publishing on the internet. Ontario International Airport's gang stalking is serving to put those demons in federal prison. The people of the state's gang stalking is serving to put those demons in federal prison. The entity maintaining a specific environment is serving to put every single last one of those demons in federal prison. That's called stalking in the path. They maintain a specific formula. And they tell on themselves the demon possessed lack self-control. They're obsessed with me, and they're obsessed with my genitalia, and their sexual violence is also crucial with regard to exposing gang stalking. This is P.O.C. It's 7:10 a.m. when you'll remember 12 hours from now, I'm looking at the fake sun through the windows of this same venue right here. Stalking. License 8H87487. All you're doing is having one person after another. That's how you're understanding it's not an individual stalking. It's an entity that's stalking, and they're maintaining presence around me in an environment that doesn't move. P.O.C. All right, stalking at Arco, license 7ZAA655, exhibiting mental illness while stalking in the path with light. License plate. Engaging in surveillance at a gas station, exhibiting mental illness. That's audible activity, exhibiting mental illness. Representing Frontier. License plate. Oh, took off his license plate while he's representing Frontier. In case you didn't know, Frontier is corrupt. They're engaged in Title 18 federal stalking, license 6X. It's so funny. These demons are so pathetic. They want to engage in it, but they don't want it on the internet. They don't want to be documented. I documented this demon on video, 8H87487. This is P.O.C. You have a demon engaging in surveillance at the Arco, monitoring the whole time, took off all the license plates off of his vehicle. Driving a Nissan Frontier, triage partners contacted by Frontier Communications. With no license plate on the front or the back of the vehicle. Knowledge that they're being documented. License 6XHX524, license 9TIH520, license 7LMA518. Gang stalking with the Ontario Police Department, who is going to be disbanded for incentivizing this public corruption, for incentivizing murder and kidnapping of American citizens that they're targeting together, for exhibiting what is mental illness in doing so. That level of unlawful conduct by a corrupt law enforcement agency that are literally supposed to be representing and engaging in the opposite. They are psychopaths, and they encourage this conduct amongst the public. License 8YZP400, 8HNM754. All stalking while I'm capturing this video, and the fake sun is remaining over me across the street from the same Starbucks where the fake sun is setting after 7 p.m. 6W86269. A Latino male, if he's not a natural born, that's deportation. 7FYH291, 9ESX874. 29625V2. A bunch of demons that are stalking as a whole people. This is how pathetic the living dead are. This is how pathetic that they are. Moving your vehicle around in the parking lot of the gas station in order to maintain presence in the path. Exhibiting mental illness. Demons that stalk with light. Exhibiting severe mental illness. License 8SWZ 964. The demons of the people of the state exhibit demon possession while they're gang stalking, driving on Euclid Avenue, and impossible light flies inside a Starbucks. They're exhibiting mental illness. That's exactly what AMR, the Ontario Fire Department, Michael Gerken, they're demons that stalk with light, exhibiting mental illness. P.O.C. License 6XHX524, an African American male engaged in criminal summoning. That's AMR. There's no emergency. The fake sun is over me. This is P.O.C. License T6A89V, Arizona. Criminal summoning. American medical response under the fake sun at Woodside Senior Apartments. In the middle of the day where the entity's keeping the fake sun over Starbucks at the same time. 6WBV355. Those are demons. Those are sex offenders. Those are stalkers using ambulances and fire trucks to engage in gang stalking me with these same people of the state. That's why they're being removed from positions. They're using ambulances. They're using resources of the city. This is what Paul Leon is engaged in, and it's what Karen Bass is engaged in. 5HRG202, pacing. Plain activity over here at the Starbucks. They're all pacing. Starbucks is making money off of domestic terrorism, just like you see them with that light activity inside of that venue. Because that's exactly the obvious prosecution that they're going to be subject to as well. It's very obvious. License 9HYE218. And Starbucks is engaged in criminal summoning. While AMR drives by and maintains that method of light activity, C526S1, criminal summoning. 9CEE799, 38959C4. Caucasian woman making a purchase at Starbucks where you see engineer light and the fake sun remains over it all day long. They're engaged in criminal summoning. 8TDP779. Gang stalking with Starbucks, engaged in criminal summoning. The following license plates. I'm reading all of them. License plate. They're all engaged in criminal conduct. License 4WBV355. And this is what they do, pacing all around while my vagina is exposed in the bathroom. 6YEN049. These are demons, and this is severe mental illness. They're stalking with light. That's what demons do that are monitoring. I read that license plate already. Let me see. This is currently, and you'll see the fake sun is over the Starbucks where demons of American Medical Response are sounding sirens as I document them. 88JF065, pursuant to criminal surveillance. You have a pattern of conduct of engaging in criminal summoning when I start documenting people. All right? It's the same thing with the impossible light activity flying inside of Starbucks when I start documenting people. Light starts flying in, that impossible light activity that Starbucks provided such a wealth of, that's exactly what's going to be used in federal court to diagnose them for mental illness, targeting and terrorizing American citizens whom they're stalking together as an entity. The countless people that have already been subject to the system and their mental illness is put on full display. When you have government exhibiting, people in government positions exhibiting mental illness, gang stalking, and stalking with light, in the demonic ways in which I've shown. So where the fake sun is right now is where the fake sun remains after 7 p.m. 9FMS150. And that's what is on video right now. And that's what's informing what you're hearing. The City of Ontario, Paul Leon, Michael Gerken, American Medical Response, which is contracted with the City of Ontario to engage in domestic terrorism, not to engage in legitimate ambulatory services. Those demons are crossing paths, creating light activity, stalking in the path. The path is clearly seen too because the fake sun is over me at the same address where I'm capturing video at 11:45 in the morning. 8R15727, that's hours from now. At 11:54, where you see hours from now, the Ontario police are gang stalking, where you can see the path that they're stalking me in under the fake sun over this same venue. License 7NHF859. And while AMR engages in criminal summoning, B. Hook, L. Martinez, C. Torres, Nathan Morgan are going to federal prison because this is the criminal system that the city of Ontario was engaged in when they used criminal summoning to engage in a kidnapping. The very gang stalkers make up information in order to justify, and that's again pursuant to fictitious authority. You don't have authority when you're stalking as a police department, number one, but nobody knows that. All right, and that's in air quotes, nobody knows that. So while you're exercising authority that you don't have, you're engaging in what is the misuse, the abuse of the criminal justice system, and using the false allegations of a gang stalker, while a gang stalker that works for law enforcement that's corrupt engages in what is a kidnapping. All right, and then that kidnapping is underway when you're understanding also they're all targeting, including the facility that the police take you to, Arrowhead Regional Medical Center, which is why, again, demons like David Siegler engaging in kidnapping while practicing medicine at the same time is engaging in what is the malicious execution of the pattern of conduct. And while I'm documenting it, this is exactly what Arrowhead Regional Medical Center was engaging in when they were kidnapping with the Ontario Police Department, the city of Ontario, the city of Colton, the state of California, in other words. And that's why David Siegler belongs in federal prison. And that's why I'm documenting the kidnapping that he engaged in intentionally and knowingly, pursuant to gang stalking. The purpose of murder and kidnapping. License, and the fake son is already documented over the Arrowhead Regional Medical Center. License 7WHE252. License BLT 312. This is P.O.C. and it's currently 7:19 a.m. and the fake son is in perfect alignment. I documented this in 2021. So like I said, Starbucks is engaged in monitoring my vagina, providing a light show every day, showing that the people of the state are clearly and obviously gang stalking, showing that every employee is gang stalking, showing that the government, the police, every function of the city of Ontario is gang stalking. And that's exactly what's going to obviously be used in what is a clear-cut prosecution for no question, no mystery, no genuine controversy, because every angle of the case against people like Starbucks, Starbucks represents the people of the state. The company's going to be treated as a person, so that's why I'm referring to it in that way. But what Starbucks is doing, the people of the state are doing. What Starbucks is doing, Woodside Senior Apartments was doing, what Starbucks is doing, Alvarado Gardens is doing, which is what LAPD, the city of Los Angeles, is doing. And there is no sun over outside of my bedroom window at the same time that it's sitting still over this Starbucks where I'm at now, showing you a video which I just captured of the fake sun, and I'm looking at this Starbucks across the street, and at 3:49 p.m. it's over the same building. That's why Nathan Morgan's going to federal prison. That's why TORRES is going to federal prison. CWHE252 is engaging in criminal summoning, as you recognize that environment where stalking as an entity is clearly shown. And companies like Starbucks are going to be prosecuted civilly and criminally. P.O.C. All right, Starbucks employees are engaged in demonic pacing, exhibiting severe mental illness while they do so. They like to engage, well, not they, the people of the state that are demons that also are aware that they're being documented, by the way, but it's very unpersuasive. You see them holding a prop like a broom and a dustpan, and then remind yourself about the impossible light activity that's moving around like a tornado and moving across the walls while they're clearly exhibiting their demon possession, and the fact that they're all stalking together as a whole company, and while every patron is in there, replete with minor children pacing around to monitor someone. You are Starbucks personnel in particular are engaged in criminal summoning, like I just documented. They're inside of the venue monitoring before I enter the venue, and the patrons are monitoring with them in the drive-thru, and they are going in and maintaining position in the bathroom to engage in gang stalking as well, psychotic, irrelevant positioning, revealing mental illness, obsession, stalking, and an ongoing effort to surround and monitor with communication devices. They're doing so in that specific environment, which is also conclusive when you're looking at the fake sun. There's no sun that will be in Los Angeles today, like I'm documenting during this time of year on an ongoing basis, replete with stalking with a helicopter. In that specific environment, it's a specific person that's being targeted by the police departments who use instruments that I've documented that include helicopters. And that's what the Ontario Police Department are doing, while the people of the state provide evidence relevant to what is federal prison for kidnapping. All right, not just exposing the Ontario police as gang stalkers, which I've already done single-handedly. While they're gang stalking in the specific environment, it's why Nathan Morgan, C. Torres, L. Martinez are going to federal prison, and B. Hook, federal prison. This is why. And that's just the Ontario police. Remember, the Arrowhead Regional Medical Center, the demons that I documented, they're going to federal prison as well. They're losing their medical licensure, their ability to be in medicine as well. They engaged in kidnapping pursuant to gang stalking as well, while this same targeting system is underway where that entity engaged in kidnapping in order to keep me confined in a facility like that because I'm documenting this system of surveillance, where those who are demons who are exhibiting severe mental illness, stalking with light, pacing around like freak weirdos, who also know that their demonic behavior, which is stalking someone, is being documented, and they engage in more of it. They get more aggressive with their psychotic pacing. They get more aggressive with the impossible light activity. They get more aggressive with regard to the government, like you hear sounding sirens under a fake sun, which is criminal summoning. It's the P.O.C. It's currently 7:23 a.m. and those are the demons that belong in mental asylums, and that's exactly what the documentation and the prosecution is going to result in. All right, it is currently 7:23 a.m. The mentally ill are preparing drinks at Starbucks. They're pacing around, they're stalking with noise, and they're exceedingly hostile. That's also exposing their mental illness. This hostility is something that they seek to try to closet, but the environment is exposing that hostility, and you can review the light activity inside of Starbucks. You are able to witness how Starbucks is engaged in ongoing threatening conduct relevant to the specific environment, which defies nature, while they're monitoring me. And it's directly relevant to what I'm documenting about Starbucks and all of its demon-possessed employees. It is currently 7:24 a.m. June 10, 2025, in the Ontario International Airport, like I documented, stalking as I walk in the direction north, repeatedly crossing path with plane activity every time I'm crossing the street, in concert with the demons who are pacing on Euclid Avenue. And their engagement in that cooperative act is demonstrated, as I keep giving you an example. Remember the impossible light that moves inside of the venues when I'm inside of it, and they are also shown then recognized to be targeting. Not looking innocent, not looking disconnected, not looking like the demon-possessed plan to look. They look like the demons that they are, and they look like the stalkers that they are, and they are also looking like the kidnappers that they are. It's 7:24 a.m. This is P.O.C. It is currently 7:25 a.m., so I just want you to see this vantage point. I was across the street capturing the fake sun that moves as I move, and that's what stalking in the path is. Keeping something in the path which is moving in the engineer light and also creating light activity. That's what gang stalking is. The engineer light is pursuant to what is monitoring, and the entity is doing it in the environment, which lets you know what everybody is doing. Driving in traffic will never create the storm of light that you see, the web of light that you see on the walls. It will never create the volcano of lights that you see, the light that moves across the ceilings. This is gang stalking. That's the Ontario Fire Department. Michael GERKEN is already known to be a demon-possessed gang stalker monitoring my vagina. And the demon-possessed that are under this fake sun at 1 o'clock in the afternoon by entering into the same Starbucks on video like I documented, where at the same time it's over Los Angeles, while I'm inside of my apartment. That's what the Ontario Fire Department were doing then, trying to be a distraction, which they're not. They're exposing the city of Ontario for gang stalking, and that's what they're doing now, stalking in the path. They're inside of this same Starbucks after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and the entity is maintaining this now. Specific environment where the demons are stalking in the path with light. This is the same thing that they're doing while the people of the state who are monitoring with the city of Ontario, because that's what this is light activity, and the people of the state are pacing. Now the inverse of this is the people of the state under the fake sun pacing and engineer light flying inside of the Starbucks. It's the same elements of monitoring. And the Ontario Fire Department arrives while knowledge of my documentation is underway. This is the tactic that the entity always engages in. 9SFR 839, 9HLY 978. Starbucks is inside monitoring with the city of Ontario as well. 8WVH 043. In the afternoon when the fake sun is right here, impossible light flies inside of the restaurant while the demon-possessed cross path. And the demon-possessed include the Ontario Fire Department, who are engaged in what is criminal summoning right now. The entity is doing so while I'm documenting right here, while all they're doing is pacing as a city. And this is the fake sun that's right here at 11 o'clock in the morning. It's right here over my head at the Starbucks and at the entrance. When I was across the street, you saw it moving as I move, which is exactly what this is, stalking in the path with light, the outward demonstration of demon possession by the Ontario Fire Department, who are engaging in this as a means of monitoring while I am exposing the fact that, but I've already shown you, when you see them crossing path with light flying inside of Starbucks, when you see the fake sun here at 11, and you see it still here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, like I've documented, you know the Ontario Fire Department are demons, you know the people of the state are demons, and they do that when I am documenting. This is why B. Hook's going to federal prison, because the city of Ontario are a bunch of demons who are gang stalking. They're pacing right now. One body, multiple bodies, and engineer light. They're under the fake sun that's still here 12 hours from now after 7 p.m. They arrive in the path pursuant to my use of my communication device to document. And these are the demons inside of the Starbucks, by the way, Ontario Fire, after 1 o'clock in the afternoon when the fake sun is still here. Hours from now, for it to be across the street over the top of my head, is the pattern of conduct which the city of Los Angeles shares. Michael Moore and Dominic Choi, the demons of the demon possessed of the Los Angeles Police Department, gang stalking just like the city of Ontario is. The Los Angeles City Fire Department, just like the Ontario Fire Department is. the entity gang stalking at Alvarado Gardens, the venue where I remain, just like the Ontario Fire Department, the City of Ontario is at this venue where I remain. Gang stalking with the Ontario Fire Department, that's criminal summoning. AMR just added sirens. That's P.O.C. License 1332569, indicative of what the City of Ontario is doing, and this is that is present right here, and this is where the fake sun is going to remain. So I want you to see it through a Rogo, because this is the entity covering up the fake sun. It's right here, and it's still in the afternoon, in the late morning, when you see the Ontario Fire in my videos driving by at 11 and they're gang stalking in traffic with the rest of these demons who are stalking with impossible light. The Ontario Fire Department just engaged in what is stalking with light using a fire truck, which is why Michael GERKEN is to be relieved. He's a demon. He's obsessed with monitoring my vagina in the bathroom inside of this Starbucks where the entity is keeping a fake sun, and the demon possessed, like the Ontario Fire who you see here, like the people of the state who you see here, are stalking with light, which is how you're monitoring. All right, it's currently 7:29 a.m. This is the fake sun. And as I begin documenting, the state arrives directly to engage in the elements of monitoring, pacing to and fro to, who are they speaking to? The people of the state. They engaged in monitoring on video right now, and it's based on what it is that I'm documenting and doing so, and that's an unlawful threat. Nathan Morgan's going to federal prison. He's the City of Ontario engaged in kidnapping. As the Ontario Fire exhibit how the City of Ontario is indeed a bunch of demons who are corrupt, engaging in what is public corruption, monitoring, targeting with the people of the state, who engaged in criminal summoning in order that C. Torres, L. Martinez, and Nathan Morgan commit kidnapping as an entity. And this is shared by Arrowhead Regional Medical Center. As surely as you see the Ontario Fire Department exhibit demon possession, create a method of light activity under the fake sun that is still here at 11 and is still here at 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 p.m. This is the entity that's exhibiting demon possession. And I also want to be clear, because I'm working on the kidnapping that this entity committed, this is why the fake sun is arriving earlier. I've already documented this in 2021. And the Ontario Fire Department gang stalking under this fake sun at the same venue after 4 p.m. using what is the appearance of fire department services while they're pacing around me under the fake sun. It's already on the record. In 2021, I documented this same venue and the entity engaging that P.O.C. So I want to be clear, the entity is doing so with regard to the only weapon that the demon-possessed have is to fling light around like the demons that they are, stalking and engaging in harassment, which it's going to be used to prosecute, and it's also for your identification purposes to know who the demon-possessed are and what they do. They engage in hiding in bathrooms, stalking in the path, while the government comes and provides facilitating activity. That's what that demon is engaging in the bathroom, while the Ontario Fire Department create light activity, while the entity is stalking with the fake sun. She's engaged in surveillance in the bathroom, license 7YJX757. And she's engaging in the P.O.C. with the entity who kidnapped me as well, knowing exactly who I am. That knowledge is shared by the entity stalking by planes, and also stalking by the Ontario Fire Department, and under a fake sun that stays here 12 hours from now. And the entity is engaging with a stalking with light because I'm prosecuting them and I'm publishing the kidnapping that they engaged in as an entity on May 29, 2025. That's why the entity is covering up the fake sun, but showing it at an earlier hour now, because this is what the entity is engaging in, molesting and terrorizing with impossible light activity, while black-faced demons and white-faced demons alike are targeting together. It is currently 7:32 a.m. This is P.O.C. at Starbucks, 507 North Euclid Avenue. And I'll remind you about video that I already have of the entity having the fake sun here, not covered up. And neither is the demon possession of the Ontario Fire Department. It's not covered up either. This is P.O.C.
You have 95 cents.
Oh, okay. I thought it was empty. All right, I'm gonna use the rest of it. I'm gonna get a tea, a hot tea.
What kind of tea would you like?
Let me get I'll get the honey citrus mint tea. Can I get a tall, please?
Yep. And then can I get a name?
Oh yeah, my name is Erica. There's no way you would know that, right? Brian?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the total?
280 now with this.
289?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Is Raquel here?
Yeah.
Oh, good morning, Raquel. I was looking for you. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Do you want to keep this or you want me to toss it?
I might get it refilled. You can get it refilled, right?
I believe so, yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, can I get a cup of ice too?
Of course. I'll get it right. Just ice?
Just ice. Yeah. (7:39 a.m.) This is pacing in and out of the cafe, all in engineered light. Thank you. Remember the video captured at 7:26 p.m. They're doing the same thing, pacing in and out of the cafe in engineered light, gang stalking with the state. That confirms it on video. The Ontario Fire Department stalking the path. While I'm showing you the fake sun that's over in alignment to me, moving as I move from across the street. That fake sun remaining in alignment, showing who everyone is targeting. And that's also proven when I'm inside a Starbucks and the fake sun remains over Starbucks. It shows who everyone is targeting. And it's the same with the entity engaging in kidnapping upon a malicious assertions. It shows who everyone is targeting. This is a gang stalking system, and the entity is going to federal prison for it. And the entity is a part of the gang stalkers. So Starbucks is a part of the entity that committed a kidnapping. When you're understanding public corruption, when you're understanding the entity that is together engaging in what is the obsessive monitoring conduct. I cannot go into the bathroom without a demon pacing in. They have to go in. That's how obsessed with me. That's how obsessed the monitoring conduct is. They're engaging what is stalking with light and stalking with their persons in that engineer light. 7VAW922. And Raquel is here. Raquel represents the quote-unquote lead, who is, again, with regard to prosecution of Starbucks, the people of the state, training and engaging in what is instilling what is a corrupt culture, a demonic culture. They're all demons, and they're engaging what is harassment and psychological torture together. As I document Raquel by name the other day, that demon got right in position, standing right in front of the window with her communication device, pacing around like the overweight minion that she is, hostile, and that hostility is not verbalized. That hostility is demonstrated through their conduct, accomplishing monitoring, accomplishing molestation and harassment with impossible light, while they know that they're being documented the entire time, and they exhibit mental illness in doing so. It is currently 7:41 a.m. The fake sun is over this venue while Starbucks is engaged in domestic terrorism and psychological torture. They're also engaged in bathroom monitoring. They're engaged in what is kidnapping American citizens as an entity, and they make a lot of money off of it. So that's what needs to be known with regard to Starbucks, the company that's entirely corrupt, and they hire the demon-possessed that are engaging in demonic. Yeah, that's me. Thank you. What's your name?
Alana.
Thank you, Alana.
Thank you.
They're engaged in that pattern of conduct with impunity. This is exposing what the state of California is engaging. Remember what Starbucks is doing, Alvarado Gardens is doing at the same time, which is impossible in a natural environment. Okay, so these are demons who are engaged in everything that they're doing is pursuant to what I am doing physically, what I'm doing on my communication device, which is entirely demonic. It's psychopathic as well. To sit around making noises at the same time somebody moves, to stalk with light, and then also to engage in conduct as though it's not happening. Nobody sees the tornado of light. Nobody's looking at the helicopter flying in circles. Just another day of gang stalking, all right, in a whole environment that's designed for that. This is exposing the demon possessed, and they're being exposed, results in them just acting like it's not happening. That's also exposing their mental illness. The entity never anticipated being exposed, and now that they're exposed, the only thing that they can do is just act like it's not happening. Those are psychopaths that are gang stalking. They're the demon possessed. It is currently 7:42 a.m. This is P.O.C. All right, you're looking at a passive-aggressive psychopath who knows that he was documented, so he follows me from one, and that's literally stalking inside of the venue. In the same way that Starbucks, the venue 507 North Euclid Avenue, is going to be prosecuted for stalking when you're understanding the government system of federal group stalking and monitoring, business establishments being prosecuted as stalking, and the people of the state stalking inside of such facilitating venues. And he is stalking, which is communicating a threat while he is engaged in federal stalking. He's documented. You'll see the fake sun after I capture his image, and they're in operation of their devices. They're monitoring inside of Starbucks. And as I walk to the opposite end, you can see him crossing path while he's monitoring me, and his shadow appears across the room, across the leather seats while he's monitoring. That's creating light activity. That's the whole purpose of keeping engineer light in the venue. This is what the demon possessed are doing when they're driving on Euclid Avenue, and light is flying inside of the venue. And this is what the entity is using as a tactic, which is not going to stop publishing their kidnapping that they committed. But this is what the demon possessed utilize with regard to harassment. The demon possessed, they fling light around while they're stalking you. They're mentally ill, and that's exactly what's going to have them put in mental asylums. They're flinging light tendencies. These are the psychopaths obsessed with my vagina. All right, pacing around like the psychopaths that they are, flinging light and pacing around back and forth as my panties are down. That sex offender paces around to the opposite side of the Starbucks toward the men's restroom and then back. He's monitoring with regard to a hostile demon that knows that he was documented. So I'm just giving you relevant context about what you just saw. The Latino male, whatever he is, perhaps a Latino olive skin, facial hair, and a black and white cap. He walks over toward me after I capture his image, which he doesn't have to look at me to know that he was documented. These are demons that know what you're doing on your communication device, and that knowledge is also shared by the specific environment. All right, these are the demon possessed that are indeed monitoring, and this is prosecuting under law that exists and laws that shall come into existence with regard to the demonic and criminal monitoring, which is satanic. It is currently 7:45 a.m. This is P.O.C. This is documentation of what is a sex offense. This is light that's unnatural. It's impossible to naturally occur. I'm at a distance away from the window, and you're looking at the light that is stretching into the depths. This is the shadow of the table. It's stretching into the depths, and then you see a psychopath that's, again, monitoring, stalking, not acknowledging you, not addressing you, which the people of the state don't have to do. And this is the same with the Starbucks baristas who are gang stalking inside of the venue. The light that's reaching in, and this is supposed to be coming through a window, reaching into the depths underneath, into the building. This is the impossible light activity that I'm documenting. It's the hallmark of monitoring. That's called crossing a path in that specific environment. Those over and under the age of majority, they're doing when they're pacing into the bathrooms to go get a relevant position behind me, and the entity is maintaining light in this manner, where you're looking at, for example, the Ontario Fire Department. They're stalking in the path with the method of light in the path in this engineer light under the fake sun. They're engaging in what is light activity when you see the people of the state driving by and engineer light is flying in here, and the demon possessed that are monitoring are acting like that's not happening either. They're in doing so when the fake sun remains over this venue for the duration of the day, and they're all acting like that's not happening either. The entity is engaging in a P.O.C, so this is impossible light. This is sex offense, and I'm going to prosecute for it. It's an unlawful touching pursuant to monitoring. This is the same venue where you're looking at the sun at 11:45 a.m. when I'm standing on this sidewalk right here, and this is again at 8. So the entity is engaging in what is a very obvious prosecution for gang stalking. This is all accomplishing monitoring as an entity that comes into the business to participate in the group stalking conduct. Bathroom monitoring pursuant to the monitoring of genitalia, the sex offense that's underway in the bathroom inside of this venue, where the fake sun is remaining, and it's going to remain over this same sidewalk where I'm documenting at 11:45, like I documented on June 4th, 2025. I documented on June 5th, 2025. The entity is maintaining this light source over this sidewalk for the duration of the day, and on this same sidewalk, it's over the roof of this building after 4 p.m., after 5 p.m., this same building that I'm inside of right now. This is the entity that is stalking with the fake sun, and even this light source is not the explanation for what is this light that's on the inside, reaching and pushing into the depths underneath the coverage. The sun that is above us does not create this gymnastics with light coming underneath structures and reaching, pushing into the depths of the building, in the same way that when you're driving by under the sun, which that is not the natural environment, but even driving under it has nothing to do with the light that you see that flies all about, and Starbucks openly shows you that they're demons, that they're engaged in monitoring, because you're going to remember that evidence that they so generously hand over to prosecute them. All right, Starbucks' corruption is shown in through the business where gang stalking is simultaneously underway. It is currently under the fake sun, 7:56 a.m., 8, 9, 10, 11:45, 8, 9, 10, 11:54. Remember, at this chevron right here, the Ontario police are gang stalking, just like I told you, and they are engaging in what is the psychopathic pattern of conduct, keeping their back to me, where they're stalking me, which is evident through a fake sun. And LAPD confirms to you, the world, that the Ontario PD and the people of the state are stalking while they use their vehicles as a method of light activity, pacing in and out to go get a drink, a purchase. It's merely speaking to the capitalistic endeavors of the entity that's targeting American citizens. You're just making money coming into the establishment where I'm at, which is the guise of, well, let me go into the library and check out a book in order to gang stalk. Let me go to the cafe and buy a drink in order to gang stalk. Let me go to the gas station and fill up my vehicle. License 7SVT291. That's what the entity is doing all day long. After 7 p.m., the fake sun is still visible through the drive-through window here. They're monitoring. This is P.O.C. And this is all pursuant to a sex offense. Monitoring my vagina is why I'm going to be prosecuting Starbucks in particular. I'm going to be draining the pockets. P.O.C. All right, I want to direct your attention to what is always the big picture in prosecuting kidnappers of the Ontario Police Department that are monitoring. The demon that's in the background working at Starbucks is creating noise at the moment that I put my hands in between my two legs, resting as I'm speaking. That's called stalking with audible activity. That's a mentally ill, demon-possessed person who's gang stalking and representing the brand Starbucks. The personnel is engaging in stalking with noise the entirety of their shift at Starbucks while the fake sun sits over the building, and while, like I've captured on video, you're seeing engineer light that is pushed into the depths of the building, and you've also seen the tornadoes of lights. You've seen the skating of lights across the walls and the ceiling. You've seen the dancing of lights while they open and close their drive-through window. You've seen the fake sun through after 7 p.m. through the drive-through window. Those demons are stalking with my every move. They're also monitoring my vagina, which I'm going to prosecute Starbucks, the company, for, and I'm going to charge them substantially for it. They're sex offenders, and they're doing so in the name of Starbucks, which is going to be prosecuted as a domestic terrorist and a violent sex offender, engaging in what is gang stalking with the government, which is engaging in that P.O.C. while I'm in Ontario, California. And on this day in 2024, I remain in Los Angeles, where the venue where I'm currently at 507 North Euclid Avenue in Ontario, I've documented the fake sun over me at the same time that I'm capturing on this day in 2024, which is relevant to time of year analysis. The entity is maintaining the light source at what is 507 North Euclid Avenue, which is my presence at Starbucks right now, where I captured this morning during the 7 a.m. hour, which you're not going to forget what was documented on June 4th. That was just days ago, in an environment which is shown to be not the natural environment. You know that at whatever hour the fake sun is shown brightly, which the entity had been waiting until 11 o'clock, which is equally impossible. It's never going to be the sun. The entity was rising and setting it over Woodside Senior Apartments units 33 through 64, period. The entity engages in what is withholding the fake sun with regard to covering it up. Okay, it's an inevitable prosecution. My purposes are to show you that the entity is aware that it's being documented. This is relevant to the very prosecution for criminal surveillance. And in addition to that, while it's aware, it engages in what are the documented acts of terrorism and sexual violence and harassment with the light that is relevant to surveillance. Stalking with light, stalking with noise, that's harassment of a federal nature, not ordinary harassment. Starbucks is going to be prosecuted for harassment as a government engaging in what is seeking to obstruct justice, while the mentally ill maintain an ongoing harassing environment, while it's also monitoring me at the same time because they're engaged in criminal surveillance. At the end, they're getting paid $15 to $20 an hour to do it. The entity is engaging in this pattern of conduct under the fake sun that is over me on June 4th, 2025 at 11:45 a.m. During the same time of year, which is again today, June 10th, 2024. I'm capturing the fake sun over my head, where you will see a video of the LAPD. You will see video of the specific environment where LAPD is gang stalking using the Hallmark helicopters, which is what you see the Ontario police, the kidnappers, engaging in a specific environment where the sun is not over Alvarado Gardens and also over me in Ontario at the same time. I'm even down to the same day and same time, but this is the same time of year in a natural environment. The sun is not going to be, first of all, over any building, including Starbucks or Alvarado Gardens, my apartment, my office in Los Angeles, for the duration of the day, or the second half of the day from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. and then outside of my bedroom window, or from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. over Starbucks. That's not the sun. It's identifying who are indeed the demon-possessed, who are stalking with noise and stalking with light, in concert with the population who also tells on them, because this is why you have the supernatural happening, such as sunlight piercing, pushing through to the opposite wall inside of the building while the sun is outside, and the sun is outside over the building for over 10 hours. And the entity is engaged in what is stalking by the government, and in that suspicious environment where there is probable cause by helicopter, the Hallmark, which is shared by the Los Angeles Police Department, where that specific environment, which defies nature, is ongoing, and it's documented as a matter of record, because the demon-possessed rely on illusions, where you've in targeting in ways and in manners that you've never heard of, such as with a fake sun. Okay, because the entity is maintaining this fake sun over me on June 10th, which is the same time of year, at 11:39 a.m. in a 5-minute video, which is speaking to the same exact time where the Ontario Police Department are gang stalking with Starbucks, via Starbucks, the people of the state, in other words, that are maintaining presence in this criminal establishment where they're engaging in satanic practices designed to monitor, that is, surveil someone, and the government has no warrant or probable cause to do that. And there is no basis outside of being prosecuted for terrorism where you're going to be protected for engaging in that, because that's exactly what Starbucks is engaging in and is demonstrating, providing a tutorial as to how the American public is engaging in what is terrorizing American citizens, targeting them for purposes of murder and kidnapping. And they do it while they're working as baristas at a cafe, very popular, known as Starbucks. And they're doing so under that fake sun. So on June 4, 2024, you will see 2 videos that I documented on that day at 11:45 a.m., which is the moment when the entity decided to start shining the fake sun, because it's there. It's covered up under the clouds. And I've already documented as with regard to your ability to know that. And the entity is doing so with regard to June 4, 2025 at 11:45 a.m. And then immediately following, based on, again, the entity that's monitoring evidence, so then the kidnappers themselves, Ontario Police Department, get in the line of vision, stalking in the path under the fake sun at 11:54 a.m., whereas on this day in 2024, June 10th, 2024, which would be same time of what's happening with the natural environment, the sun and the moon and the sky and the sunrise and the sunset, not this fake sun business where the sun is rising and setting at Starbucks on Euclid and D Street. Or Euclid and E Street, and also documentation of the sun rising and setting over Tracy Banks' apartment, Unit 51 at Woodside Senior Apartments, which is even distinct from being over Starbucks here, where a demon is stalking with noise while another demon walks into the male restroom. That's that demonic synchronicity where they're targeting, in other words, under a fake sun that I documented today at 7 in the morning. But you're going to see what is evidence of the Ontario police being the demons who committed kidnapping on May 29, 2025, and that kidnapping pursuant to stalking or obvious and plain in an environment that defies nature, such as the sun sitting over Starbucks from 11:45 until on this day in video 4:52 p.m. and I captured more in images where the entity is stalking not only with impossible light that I captured at 4:52 p.m. where the fake sun is still over this same Starbucks that it is right now as of 7 in the morning today. But on this day, June 10, 2024, it's over me at 11:39 a.m. It is over me while I am documenting the Los Angeles Police Department gang stalking by helicopter at 11:16 a.m. You're mindful of what I'm documenting here at this Starbucks, where the demon-possessed are wearing Starbucks baristas representing a corrupt company, Starbucks, who are engaging in employing the demon-possessed, who are engaging in what are gang stalking and being paid a salary in order to disguise that public corruption that's underway, embedded into society, where gang stalking is underway and facilitated by every business in the specific environment. Every company is engaged in criminal targeting and they are exhibiting demon possession, which is relevant to mental illness while they practice it as a city, as a county, wherever I go. That's how I have the pattern of conduct in Los Angeles, and that's what I want to point your attention to. On June 6, 2024, at 11:39 a.m., you will see the fake sun over my head, directly over the top of my head, where I am inside of my office at 1810 North Alvarado Street in Los Angeles, California. And this is where the fake sun remained for the duration of the day, which is what I'm reminding you about yesterday on June 9th, 2025. The fake sun is outside of my bedroom window at 3:48 p.m. I am routinely documenting what is the maintenance of a fake sun necessarily because I pointed out at the outset, the sun is not rising and setting at one apartment, which is where I remained in Los Angeles, and the entity surrounded me with that environment pursuant to keeping me under surveillance in a satanic method. This demonic imitation of the natural environment is demonic. This stalking with audible activity, which the demons in Starbucks are engaging in, it's demonic. This stalking with light, which you've seen on video yourself, I don't have to make any of it up. They provided the evidence regarding their mental illness, regarding their criminal engagement in surveillance, regarding their criminal engagement with the intent to obstruct justice, knowledge that they're being documented. And so the escalation of that impossible light activity is commensurate with what it is that I'm documenting, what it is that I'm exposing, whatever it is that I might be discussing. They expose that about themselves, which is in conformity to a pattern of conduct. Not only the impossible light activity, i.e. stalking with light, which the mentally ill who are demon-possessed practice, they're practicing it as a society while a fake sun remains over me, and they're all pacing all around me while the living dead engage in their ceremonious pacing. All right, this is what's happening in Los Angeles and what's happening in Ontario at specifically now, because I'm at Starbucks, is where the entity is maintaining that environment. And that is a clear prosecution for the government that engaged in kidnapping. Understanding that Ontario police is gang stalking while they commit a kidnapping, and it's kidnapping because they don't have any sort of probable cause, reasonable suspicion, authority under the law when you are engaging in what is the unlawful surveillance of an American citizen, which is proven through an environment which is referred to as the specific environment, the fake sun, the engineered light, where they're monitoring with communication devices, knowing everything that I'm doing, including knowing that there was no violence against Tracy Banks when the Ontario police and Tracy Banks, the people of the state, together asserted that in order to accomplish kidnapping, where corrupt police engage in what is feigning as though they're legitimate law enforcement, as though they have authority under the law and that they're lawfully arresting you, that they have truthful information about whatever it is that they have asserted against you in order to have you subject to what is imprisonment or maintenance in a facility while they exercise authority that they don't have either under the Welfare and Institutions Code, not only because, number one, they're mentally ill, they're the demon-possessed that are stalking with light, stalking under the fake sun, stalking as a community, a government system, stalking with all manner of demonic means. That's the mentally ill, that's psychopathic. And it's also the entity doesn't have authority because the government doesn't have authority to stalk you, that doesn't provide probable cause. That doesn't provide a lawful basis of authority under the law. You have no warrant to engage in what is targeting someone, and then from targeting, then manufacture information about them in order to get them in a circumstance where you could kidnap them. That's not a lawful confinement. The government has no basis to do. That's what the Ontario Police Department has been doing, and Starbucks' gang stalking is evidence against that. The Ontario International Airport's gang stalking is evidence against that. The Ontario Police Department themselves, their gang stalking is evidence against that. And the entity is engaging in this in an environment that is very obvious, and that's why I want to point your attention to what was documented on this day in 2024. June 10, 2024, there is a playlist video it's available on my website. This is the P.O.C.wordpress.com, where you will witness the evidence that's going to put C. TORRES, L. Martinez, Nathan Morgan, and what is B. Hook in federal prison for gang stalking and committing a kidnapping pursuant to criminal summoning. Criminal summoning is a malicious iteration of the pattern of conduct. That is, one of these demons that work at Starbucks engaging in criminal summoning, making allegations that are not true while they're stalking the entire time. They're the criminal. And then the police that are gang stalking, which is already documented by myself, but again, this is before this prosecution is known. The entity engages in criminal summoning, manufactures information while they're stalking the entire time, which you know because the Ontario Police is flying in circles over me inside of this venue. The Ontario Police are stalking in the path like psychopaths under the fake sun at venues across the street. The demons of the Ontario Police are gang stalking by crossing path in helicopter, crossing path with the rest of the city of Ontario, such as the fire department, such as the Ontario International Airport that has no takeoffs over E Street and Euclid Avenue, over the Unicare Community Medical Center across the street, or the Starbucks itself, which I've documented, the entity gang stalking by planes, including this morning while I'm walking to this venue. All of that is documented while the entity then engages in criminal summoning, and the stalking police officers commit what is a kidnapping, or they commit what is criminal summoning by merely arriving. A stalker arriving in your face bearing weapons is an unlawful threat. This is the pattern of conduct that the Ontario Police committed, not at Starbucks. They've done it before, though, and that's why it's already on the record. But like I said, a criminal summoning is built into the pattern of conduct where the police are stalking. All right, and I've already documented every angle of that case. Those police officers who are, again, terrorists masquerading as legitimate law enforcement in this country, they're engaging in what is kidnapping, and they have no support of the Constitution, the law whatsoever for what they committed, and every angle of the case against them is already established. The entity is engaged in what is ongoing gang stalking, things such as slinging light all over the place, and stalking with an earlier arriving fake son, because I'm publishing the details of that kidnapping on the venue of the internet, which is more evidence as to why Nathan Morgan and C. TORRES, L. Martinez, and B. Hook are going to federal prison, because they were gang stalking on May 29, 2025. The Ontario Police has been gang stalking before May 29, 2025, and the Ontario Police is still gang stalking post the kidnapping that they engaged in on May 29, 2025. It is literally in a playlist where you would see over 20 videos of them following me around from place to place in police vehicles in the specific environment and helicopters in the specific environment, which is speaking to what LAPD is testifying to against these demons who are going to federal prison. That the fake sun is remaining over me on June 10, 2024 at 11:39 in the morning. The Ontario Police are gang stalking under the fake sun at 11:54 a.m. at the Chevron across the street from this Starbucks where I'm at right now, and where the fake sun is documented on video at 7 o'clock in the morning today. Okay, and it's remaining at as late as 7 p.m. That's the Ontario Police that are gang stalking, and they're demons. The people of the state that are monitoring, the government that is monitoring, that is creating audible activity, that is creating activity with simultaneity to what I do and what I do on communication devices, that's engaging what is manufacturing information about me, this unsubstantiated, this mysterious hostility, which is also communicated through the environment. The engineered light, the tornadoes of light, the demons are hostile. Okay, it's absolutely supernatural, and it's absolutely foolish that the demons would provide that level of evidence against them. It was already on the record, but why would you? Again, you're talking about what is obsession and the inability to stop what is exposure and a prosecution. And the demon-possessed that work for the Ontario Police that engage in kidnapping under a fake sun that is remaining at the same time over me on this day in 2024 at 11:39 a.m., which is speaking to the impossibility that the Ontario Police are normal human beings who are not demon-possessed, who are not gang stalking in a demonic environment that is designed, engineered to show targeting of myself amongst that entity that's pacing all around me, obsessively stalking, including monitoring my vagina China, they are going to prison for that. The evidence of that environment, which is revealing criminal surveillance, is what is going to put them away where they belong, in the facilities where they belong. It's both prison and in mental facilities. But nonetheless, this is what's relevant, because on June 10, 2024, that's where you'll see the fake sun over me inside of my office. The address in Los Angeles is nowhere near 507 North Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California. It's nowhere near 9720 Juniper in Fontana, where I'm on Omnitrans after leaving Colton, where this Arrowhead Regional Medical Center was gang stalking me in that medical facility, pursuant to knowledge about who I am, while they were targeting and trying to accomplish a kidnapping by trying to just name call me and trying to pin names on me, associating it with mental illness, and that doesn't work under the law either. It doesn't work. The entity, and they're doing it while they are targeting. That's why they're engaging and understand the motive behind the criminal and malicious misuse and abuse of the practice of medicine, where people that are not mentally ill are subject to what are defamation, and it's criminal conduct pursuant to the pattern, the criminal conduct pursuant to the pattern of conduct, and it will result in federal prison. All right, the entity is doing so in a manner that is exposing how every angle is engaging in the same targeting conduct, and it is as detailed as the sun being over me at 11:39 a.m. on June 10, 2024, and the fake sun being over me at 11:45 a.m. on June 4, 2025, here at Starbucks, where today on June 10, 2025, I'm documenting the fake sun at during the 7 a.m. hour, which is speaking to, so that means that the fake sun is going to remain right here over this Starbucks, where I don't move, which I already documented, until after 7 p.m. because you don't cut and piece and parcel the documentation of what's supposed to be the natural environment. So if that's a natural environment that sun that remained until after 7 p.m., like I just documented days ago, I believe that was June 7th, 2025, then that the entity is suggesting that the sun is rising and setting over the Starbucks, which is the pattern of conduct. And there is no provision that the sun could ever be, but I documented it over me at the same time of year in 2024, where the LAPD are gang stalking as a matter of evidence, proven fact. As you are putting into context the significance of that fake sun that's over the top of my head in the office space and in my apartment, which is the private space. And I'm being kept under surveillance and terrorized by demon-possessed, gang-stalking police officers who are clearly targeting me in a specific environment, which is denoted with a fake sun and impossible light. So I want to bring that to your attention, June 4th, 2024. The entity is keeping the fake sun over me for the duration of the day. I am at work on this day. The entity is covering up the fake sun in the morning, which is what you'll see, a demon stalking in the path with the method of light activity, flashing light. This is stalking in the path as I'm coming from my apartment. This is video captured on June 10, 2024 at 8:16 a.m. So this is why I'm documenting what is the flashing of light conduct, stalking with light activity. This is what the Ontario Fire Department is doing this morning while I'm capturing the video of the fake sun over this same sidewalk at Starbucks, where I've already documented it at 11 o'clock in the morning, as though you cannot clearly see the fact that the Ontario Fire Department are a bunch of demons who engage in what are manifesting as demons when they begin stalking with light using a fire truck, meaning the demon possessed need to be removed from being in the fire departments. That's what they're exhibiting, public corruption. They literally stop in the middle of the street, turn on their fire lights, the lights on their fire truck under the fake sun, and they just go talk to a third party. Who are they talking to? They're talking to the demons that are stalking with impossible light. They're talking to the demons that are flinging light while they're monitoring me. The entire pattern of conduct is exposed. There's nothing legitimate. There's no legitimate aspect to the entity's pattern of conduct. They're relying on the people of the state. The people of the state are exposed as the stalkers, the sex offenders, the demon possessed, and that's by their own bidding. I documented the pattern of conduct without them saying a word. Now they're so hostile, they engage in what are providing me 5, 6 minute, 10-minute videos of tornadoes of light swiping all across on the inside of the buildings. And then as though you're going to forget that when they're going to be prosecuted for terrorism and criminal surveillance, which is relevant to this very environment that I've exposed to you, a fake sun and engineered light, not sunlight, and criminal surveillance is underway in that environment. And it's also relevant to what is psychological torture, harassment, sexual violence, where this engineered light is present and they're monitoring your genitalia. They're stalking you in sick places like in bathrooms. They're pacing all around like maniacal psychopaths who are very much unhinged and deranged, a threat to themselves and each other. That's what's gang stalking, and that's what kidnapped me on May 29, 2025. and they're going to prison for it while the entity is showing its fake sun during the 7 a.m. hour, which isn't helping anybody in their federal case. It certainly isn't helping C. Torres, L. Martinez, it's not helping Nathan Morgan, and it's not helping B. Hook, because those demons are going to prison. The Ontario Police is still gang stalking, just like I documented during my walk this morning while I am at the museum. The police department is obsessed with me because they're full of demons. They're demon possessed. That's why the police department is obsessed with me. They're obsessed with the notion of criminally defaming me and having me locked up in a facility somewhere. They're obsessed with my vagina. They're obsessed with everything that I expose about them, because they're fascinated about my ability to call them out for the demons that they are, but they're also hostile to it. And I'm referencing Satan himself, which is a spirit. And that's what's animating the Ontario Police Department. That's what's animating this demonic environment, by the way, that surrounds me while I am exposing the demon possessed that are engaged in the criminal system of gang stalking. It's demonic. It's 8:35 a.m. This is P.O.C. and the podcast is going to refer to, and the podcast is on YouTube, that provides the convenience of attaching like a relevant or related content. So on YouTube in particular, you'll be able to see what I'm attaching to the podcast for the day, which is what I documented on this day in 2024, where you will see the fake sun over me in Los Angeles. And then you're looking at what I'm documenting on a moment by moment basis on June 10th today. Oh, that couldn't possibly be the natural environment, which is what I stated on this day in 2024, that it's not the natural environment. It's not the sun, neither is that sunlight that I'm also capturing on my ceiling, that I'm capturing flashing on my ceiling in my bedroom, that I'm capturing both on the ceiling and on the walls, like I'm capturing inside of Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue, pursuant to a pattern of conduct under an enduring fake sun, which is revealing where surveillance and who is being surveilled. It is not mysterious, it's not ambiguous, it is very clear and concrete who is being targeted, and it is myself, and I'm also the one that has evidence proving it. It is currently 8:36 a.m. on June 10, 2025. The related content regarding gang stalking by the LAPD, which is directly relevant and probative regarding the people of the state and the state of California that's gang stalking today in 2025, and those who are going to federal prison for kidnapping, includes the Arrowhead Regional Medical Center. There's no sun that's going to be in the window of Omnitrans when I'm coming from the city of Colton, because the demon possessed think that they're going to cover up the fake sun, and then that means that, oh, there's no gang stalking in Colton because you didn't get the fake sun documentation. I already got the fake sun, first of all, at Arrowhead Regional Medical Center, and second of all, the pattern of conduct regarding what is the specific environment is context, so that you will know that everything about this pattern of conduct is demonic, i.e. supernatural. And the fake sun at one place is speaking to the pattern of conduct everywhere that I'm going. I can't make that up. I can't manufacture it or control it. The entire state of California is being prosecuted, and the unintelligent pattern of conduct, which is speaking to the use of the demons' illusions, are going to be used to prosecute them and diagnose them. All right, it's 8:37 a.m. and this is P.O.C. It is June 10, 2025. It's 11:16 a.m. This video was captured at 507 North Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California, at third-party facilitating venue, recognized based on the maintenance, the supernatural, which is the criminal presence of a specific environment where the government is exposed, engaging in criminal surveillance, which is domestic terrorism, as the government's criminal surveillance system is satanic, designed to psychologically torture in furtherance of murder and kidnapping, which is the criminal conduct of the Ontario Police Department, who is gang stalking in the readily identifiable and plain and being obvious, plainly obvious environment where the fake sun is remaining over the same venue that I stood this morning, where the City of Ontario by the Ontario Fire Department is engaged in gang stalking. And I'm capturing this time in reference to what I documented on this day in 2024, when I am nowhere near Ontario, nowhere near San Bernardino County. I'm in Los Angeles County at Alvarado Gardens at 1810 North Alvarado Street, where the LAPD is gang stalking me by helicopter in an environment where I'm documenting the fake sun rising and setting where I'm living at this time of year in Los Angeles. That is LAPD flying directly over my head in a helicopter, and that is the fake sun that's over me at my location of 1810 North Alvarado Street, in conformity to the pattern of conduct. Now, with regard to what I'm documenting today, I'm going to show you where I'm at in Los Angeles, which is what I just showed you right now, and I'm going to show you where I am at this morning, where you're looking at what above is captured at 7:06 a.m. And at 7:06 a.m., I am standing, first of all, right over there across the street, and I'm standing adjacent to the Arco gasoline, which remain in relevant position. They were stalking with light this morning when I was capturing this video. documenting the maintenance of the fake sun, the maintenance of aerial surveillance by the Ontario International Airport, and the proof of aerial surveillance is the maintenance of an environment that defies nature, where from 7 to 11, that is 4 hours, to merely cross the street, remaining in alignment with me in doing so, while the demons who already show you what they are, what they're doing, while they cross path, engineer light flies on the inside of the building, they're gang stalking under a fake sun, which in Los Angeles is not going to be over Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue. It's not going to create any light activity inside of Starbucks. It is identifying gang stalking by the City of Ontario as it is the City of Los Angeles engaging in the same thing at the same time. What the Ontario International Airport is doing, the Ontario Police Department is doing. The entity is doing so as a citywide effort. That's surveillance in the specific environment. A sexual violence while my vagina is exposed in the bathroom, maintaining presence in the path while the demon possessed are pacing in an environment that defies nature. Don't forget just not only this video here at 7 in the morning, where the fake sun is remaining in perfect alignment with me as I am standing at the same location. That was the fake sun at 7 o'clock. Specifically, it is captured at what is 7:06 a.m. And again, what you see at the top, I was standing right, that's the Arco. I was standing adjacent to the Arco, and the fake sun was right here in the sky space. You're talking about 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 hours to cross the street, whereas 12 hours from 7 a.m., the fake sun doesn't cross any location, stays over this building to the opposite side of the same building, which is what I documented at 7:26 p.m. at the same address, 507 North Euclid Avenue, which shares no environment at my office space on this day in 2024, where the entity is maintaining a fake sun, which is showing that the LAPD is engaged in criminal monitoring, just like the City of Los Angeles and the City of Ontario. The Ontario Police Department, who are also gang stalking, that is pacing. They're the demon possessed who are pacing under a light source, engaging what is stalking together collectively as a group. This is showing the businesses that are gang stalking. Arco is gang stalking. Chevron is gang stalking. Starbucks is gang stalking. Unicare is gang stalking. The Ontario International Airport is gang stalking, having no terminals that are causing them to be lowered in elevation to even be heard or seen if they were taken off from Terminal 2 Terminal 4, but you know that they're targeting because the fake sun is remaining over the same location where it was this morning, where the Ontario Fire Department engaged in this above, where the City of Ontario is exhibiting to the world that domestic terrorism is real, it is satanic, and it's government conduct. That's what's relevant here at what is documented at 7:45 a.m., where the entity is maintaining that light source. Engineer light is shown through the windows of the same Starbucks at 7:45 a.m. Excuse me. This video starts at 7:54 a.m. The entity is keeping the fake sun over the same exact Starbucks, where I'm standing at the entrance along the same sidewalk. This is the light source right here, while I'm being molested. That's a sex offense, while the government is obsessively stalking me, my person, my documentation, my communication devices, my internet activity. And this is also shown, I want to go back to show you what the City of Ontario is doing right here under the fake sun. This is the same position where I stood this morning. All right, so this is, again, the fake sun is here at 7. I'm documenting this video this morning where the Ontario Fire, like the City of Ontario is gang stalking, and so is the Ontario Police Department. And again, showing you the specific environment, the fake sun moves away from the entrance as I move. The fake sun remains over the same street, rising in alignment and staying at this zenith presence, which is, again, not coexisting with the natural environment that would be, under any circumstances, anything but the crime scene, where the city is gang stalking me in Los Angeles and the city is gang stalking me in Ontario, a statewide pattern of conduct. The Los Angeles Police Department and the Ontario Police Department sharing in that criminal engagement in that P.O.C. This is where I'm documenting the vehicles that are crossing path, they're pacing. Remember what I'm documenting right here at 3:47 p.m. yesterday. The entity is gang stalking while this fake sun is remaining over me, and I'm documenting the same time on June 9, 2024. The fake sun that's still here at 3:48 p.m. is outside of my bedroom window on June 9, 2024. This is showing the pattern of conduct where the LAPD is gang stalking me, just like the Ontario PD, as the City of Ontario demonstrates that P.O.C. with the police department sharing. They committed a kidnapping, and that's why B. Hook, L. Martinez, C. Torres, and Nathan Morgan are indeed going to federal prison, and they're still gang stalking me while the City of Ontario, which Starbucks stands in the shoes of, they're not a private company. That's why it's a facilitating environment where the government has no warrant or probable cause to have a corrupt company like Starbucks facilitate criminal surveillance of a satanic nature. That's why Impossible Light is flying inside of Starbucks. That's why their employees are engaging in the demonic behavioral pattern. That's why they're engaging in what is ongoing criminal acts of facilitation and harassment, even through the Impossible Light activity. While the Ontario International Airport is gang stalking me at Starbucks, Starbucks is going to be prosecuted. And Starbucks does not share any sky space with what is the natural environment that, again, the LAPD can't even claim that they're in, which is speaking to what is automatic identification of the crime scene, the demonic means of targeting an American citizen, which is what LAPD and the City of Ontario, the Ontario Police Department are doing. And that's what I'm capturing here at 7:25 a.m., 8, 9, 10, 11, as I stand at the same location where the Ontario Fire Department are gang stalking on video. For you to understand the significance of creating light activity using their vehicles, the demons of the Ontario Fire Department did that this morning under the 7:25 a.m. fake sun. 8, 9, 10, 4 hours later, it's still over me at the same location, showing you that they are gang stalking. They are also showing you that they're gang stalking because they're in the same venue after 1 p.m. where I'm, again, comparing it to what's happening in Los Angeles at the same time, on the same day, same time of year, where they are gang stalking with knowledge that it's being documented, referencing Michael GERKEN's impunity and his mental illness and his sexual proclivities that are perverted and predatory in nature. This demon is engaging in the demons are engaging in what is monitoring, and they're doing so where the LAPD is at the same exact time, 11:16 a.m. today in 2024, where I'm showing you the fake sun is remaining stationary over this street, which is never going to be the specific environment. There's no provision that where the entity engaged in this today that the sun is over Woodside Senior Apartments where this entity engaged in kidnapping. There's no provision that the entity that's engaged in this conduct keeping the fake sun over the same street where it's still remaining as a matter of documentation after 6 and 7 p.m. where the Ontario police are gang stalking in helicopter, gang stalking by pacing just like the rest of these demons on Euclid Avenue, and doing so also this morning. So let me show you that as well. While I'm capturing pacing, the Ontario Police Department crossed path communicating a threat and doing so with knowledge that it's being documented, and they are doing so as a kidnapping police department, and they are again demonstrating the fact that's the Ontario Fire Department gang stalking under the fake sun at 11:12 a.m. Just like they were at 7:25 a.m. gang stalking, and they're doing so as a corrupt government body that's demonstrating the fact that they are indeed acting with impunity and malice in furtherance of murder. And here's the Ontario Police Department gang stalking at 11:01 under the fake sun while I am capturing what is demonic pacing, and these are the demons of the Ontario Police that are pacing in concert with the rest of these demons while I am kept under surveillance inside of this venue at 507 North Euclid Avenue, where the entity is maintaining a fake sun for purposes of your ability to witness the exposure of the demon-possessed, the living dead, that are engaging in nothing other than dizzy, demonic pacing, stalking one person, which is identified in a plain manner. And this is not shared with 1810 North Alvarado Street, where LAPD is gang stalking just like the City of Ontario is. B. Hook, L. Martinez, Nathan Morgan, Woodside Senior Apartments, the demons gang stalking at an apartment complex like Starbucks is gang stalking with the City of Ontario at 507 North Euclid Avenue, at E Street and Euclid, where the Ontario International Airport has no taking off. There's no terminals here. You're not taking off and then hovering perpetually through the city. You're not taking off headed toward a destination to fly forward and then make a U-turn going back to the airport. The entity is engaging in clear targeting through the environment and through the targeting conduct of the people of the state, including 9RML185 under the fake sun, where LAPD is gang stalking my helicopter. This is understood to be light activity. They do the same thing when my vagina is exposed, and they're stalking in the path, monitoring with communication devices and keeping me obsessively under surveillance. And the demon possessed are gross predators. They're sex offenders. This is P.O.C. All right, the enduring fake sun is what is giving you context regarding every method of light activity. That's the significance of the criminal monitoring conduct. This is P.O.C. It's currently 11:27 a.m. This is the prosecution of the state of California and the federal imprisonment, the disbanding of the Ontario Police Department, as the City of Ontario provides evidence against itself. P.O.C. All right, this is impossible light activity while the fake sun is over Los Angeles right now at 11:16 a.m. That's not sunlight. It's also not sunlight when there's a cover, and that's stalking with light activity with the Ontario International Airport. The demons that are not natural-born citizens, you're going to deport them. This is impunity on ongoing obsession and determination to continue monitoring in the face of being documented for it, and that's government action. All right, it's currently, by the way, at 507 North Euclid Avenue. You're going to refer to what is documented on this day in 2024 in Los Angeles at 1810 North Alvarado Street, where the LAPD is gang stalking, as I documented on video, with the fake sun remaining over me, which is where it remained for the duration of the day, including as I went into my apartment, and overnight, where the LAPD is gang stalking me by helicopter while I'm inside of my apartment. All right, this is what I'm documenting. That's LAPD crossing path. That's the fake sun directly over the top of my head. The entity is maintaining this light source as my documentation shows on June 10, 2025, and the documentation from February to July 2024 that the entity was maintaining a fake sun for purposes of what is activity creation, while LAPD is engaging in what is targeting via helicopter, stalking, psychological torture, harassment, and terrorism by stalking and pursuing in helicopters in that specific environment. It is currently 11:28 a.m. This is the environment where the Ontario International Airport is sharing in that pattern of conduct with the Ontario Police Department, with the Los Angeles Police Department that share no natural environment, showing them to be demons who are targeting me together in a statewide P.O.C. That fake sun is not over 507 North Euclid Avenue. It is the pattern of conduct, however. This is P.O.C. Are you waiting to use the restrooms?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's only one stall in here.
You're all good.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
The light source is over the venue, so specific knowledge about my condition, my status, my location, my activity on my device, what it is that I'm stating, my physical movement. That's how diligently the demon possessed are monitoring. This is the desire to be in close proximity while one's genitalia is exposed. This is referred to as bathroom monitoring, and it is happening in engineered light as well. It's happening while the light source is remaining as of 7:25 a.m. And it's currently 11:55 a.m. This is capturing the P.O.C. where the LAPD is under the same fake sun that I'm documenting at 11:39 a.m. in Los Angeles on this day in 2025. And this is the exceedingly violent offense that's happening in private spaces where the mentally ill are chasing into bathrooms and engaging in that P.O.C. As a statewide. This is government action. The government has no legitimate interest in your genitalia. Just to be clear, it is the same venue, and this is that obsession also aware, pursuant to federal stalking, aware of the documentation and still obsessed with engaging in that. That's how heavy duty the monitoring is. It is again 11:56 a.m. This is P.O.C. Okay, that video that you are listening to is in reference to what is the bigger picture as well. The entity is engaged in gang stalking using helicopters, while the people of the state, the same demons who pace outside in the street in vehicles and engineer light, flies inside pursuant to monitoring me, specifically entering into the private space in order to accomplish the same. Those demons that engage in slinging light around, stalking like psychopaths are stalking in the private space. That's what's standing in relevant position in a bathroom, that obsessed with my genitalia and obsessed with following me around, chasing into bathrooms. The same entity that you see stalking with light is what's in the bathroom. Don't forget, the entity is maintaining the light source over the venue, which again, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5 hours now, for it to be across the street and its zenith over the top of my head where it remains, as I document again after 5 p.m. and it's over the same roof of the venue. That's what relevant to what is standing in the bathroom, which is stalking in a private space in a very absurdly demonic and absurdly demented and perverted manner, and in a perverted space where you're not doing anything other than monitoring, where the government has no legitimate interest at that. The entity is doing so while you're aware of the purpose of engineer light that's on the bathroom wall, where my shadow is upright on this bathroom wall. That's relevant to what is stalking in the path in the bathroom. This is currently, again, while the entity is monitoring the evidence again and speaking to an ongoing determination to stalk in bathrooms. This is an entity that's inside of the bathroom as well, the same entity that committed kidnapping and is obsessively consumed with chasing me into private spaces like I'm documenting. P.O.C. All right, the LAPD and Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue are in the specific environment. Starbucks, which represents the people of the state, are maintaining presence and engaging in monitoring in the most perverted manners, engaging in the perpetual sex offense under the guise of what is the corrupt entity that is gang stalking obsessively. And as you are witnessing, that gang stalking continues into bathrooms where the entity that's stalking with light, this is why you always remember the totality of facts. These are the same demons pacing, knowing exactly who I am, while tornadoes of light are swirling all across the walls and the ceilings. Those demons are the one that come into the bathroom, stalking in the path, aware that my pants are down, aware that my panties are down, aware that my legs are spread apart, aware of my physical status, aware of everything that I'm stating, aware of my physical movement. That's how you stalk with light activity and stalk with noise. And with that knowledge, it's not enough. They want to be physically present next to me when I'm in the private space, when I'm physically indisposed. That is the sex offender that is indeed obsessed and is stalking. And that is conclusive where the fake sun is over the venue, where the engineered light fills the venue in the way that Raquel has demonstrated. Raquel is engaged in monitoring. Alana, Brian, all of them are gang stalking and monitoring my vagina together while the entity enters in engineered light under the fake sun. You're never forgetting the engineered light where my shadow is appearing upright in front of me inside of this building. You're never forgetting the engineered light that's appearing through the drive-through appearing, and I put that in air quotes because it's supernatural, but while after 7 p.m. my shadow is appearing upright on the wall inside of the same cafe, and it is occurring in the shade and ostensibly being caused from the sun that would be over in alignment, meaning near, meaning not moving at this same venue after 7 p.m. for the sun to be so low in elevation that it's shining through the drive-through window and causing my upright shadow to appear in front of me inside of this venue, which is speaking to a horizontal light, not the sun that's above us, which has a downward trajectory of sunlight that does not reach underneath covered structures to reach into the depths of buildings either. Neither does it cause dancing light inside. Like, that's what's relevant with regard to what is stalking in the bathroom. It's the demon possessed, and they're engaged in obsessive surrounding. That's what traffic is under the fake sun. That's what the business establishments are engaged in under the fake sun, for purposes of the government to keep one surrounded at all times. And that's why the facilitating venue is also the means whereby you will be able to prosecute corrupt businesses like Starbucks for stalking you, and also for monitoring your genitalia, an exceedingly violent sex offense that third party, the people of the state, are going to compensate for, especially as I am publishing it on the venue of the internet, and Starbucks, a sex offender, is engaging in more and more aggressive sexual violence as an entity as well. It is currently 12:07 p.m. The entity was maintaining the fake sun over me in Los Angeles. This is what I'm documenting on an ongoing basis. Pay attention to, well, all of the evidence, but as of late, since the entity engaged in what is kidnapping that ended on June 3rd, all of the podcasts and all the videos capturing the City of Ontario gang stalking, specifically the kidnappers of the Ontario Police Department, they are doing so June 3rd, June 4th, June 5th, June 6th, June 7th, June 8th, June 9th, today, June 10th. You are looking at what the entity, the LAPD, is doing under the fake sun that's remaining over me at Alvarado Gardens. I also go to the Glendale DMV during this week. I'm documenting the fake sun that's deviating from remaining from sunrise until sunset at Alvarado, then all of a sudden over the Glendale DMV, and I do a screen recording there showing you that the Glendale Police Department are gang stalking just like the Los Angeles Police Department, just like the Ontario Police Department, who committed a kidnapping while they're gang stalking in order to obstruct justice. The entity is engaging in what is maintaining this ongoing gang stalking conduct after committing a kidnapping together. It's the same entity that's obsessively stalking me and following me into bathrooms and surrounding me with impossible light while they keep my vagina under surveillance. No movement, no conduct whatsoever is not being monitored, is outside of the knowledge of that entity. And to enter into the bathroom is just an ongoing obsessive act. They are engaging in what are the elements of monitoring while they're gang stalking in a relevant position in the male's restroom, there's only one stall in there, and so this demon wants to be inside, and that is the same pattern of conduct every time I go in the bathroom, and they're all monitoring me. So you're not entering in ignorantly, they're entering in to engage in the elements of monitoring. And you are monitoring somebody in a bathroom for what? Okay, it's bad enough to be monitoring. Why are you then monitoring in the bathroom? I'm not pulling a communication device out of my vagina. All right, I'm not hiding a laptop in my digestive tract somewhere. The entity is a sex offender. There is no other explanation other than that. And then you're looking at the psychopaths, just like when the engineered light is flying all across, and they're as though nothing is happening, nothing to see here, because there was never any plan for their satanic system to be exposed. And so the demon-possessed engage in just acting like it's not happening while still obsessively stalking. They're not going to leave the post, but they're exhibiting what is mental illness, psychopaths, and their obsession with me, including their obsession with my genitalia. You'll see a black male gang stalking. You'll see an Asian male out here gang stalking. You'll see an overweight white woman with a tacky hat on her head gang stalking. You'll see the demon-possessed that are pacing while I'm capturing the Ontario police in helicopter. They're gang stalking my vagina. The business Chevron, they're in relevant position. What I'm doing in the bathroom is public knowledge, and then they enter into the bathroom to maintain obsessive presence in the path. Activity creation when I'm in that when I'm in that state, not only in that state, but in that location, in that private space. That's a sex offender, that's obsessively stalking. Okay, and I just want to make sure that I detail that because it's happening while the LAPD is under a whole fake sun that could not possibly coexist with being over Starbucks at 706 West Hope Boulevard, with the fake sun being over me while I'm on Omnitrans, like I documented on June 3rd and June 6, 2025. This is what the entity is doing after engaging in kidnapping that I documented from May 29, 2025 through June 3rd, 2025, where the entity is gang stalking by criminal summoning, the demons of AMR, of the Ontario Fire Department, of the Ontario Police Department, gang stalking by helicopter, gang stalking by the Ontario City of Ontario International Airport under a fake sun that's remaining as I'm documenting in all the playlists, which you will also correlate with regard to recognizing that P.O.C. of a stalking city, a stalking state that is monitoring in an environment that is demonic. And they also engage in the perpetual sex offense, as I've termed it. One of the ways in which sexual violence is underway, stalking somebody in a bathroom, that's entirely perverted, and it's not less perverted because it's a female. It's entirely sick and psychopathic and obsessive, and it's entirely satanic, all right? It is currently 12:11 p.m. where the entity is committing the sex offense of gang stalking, which the employees of Starbucks are engaging in. Starbucks facilitating venue, Starbucks employees gang stalking, Starbucks engaging in harassment, psychological torture, Starbucks engaging in obstruction of justice, which is not just today and this year. I've been documenting it since 2019. As a matter of record. But it is currently 12:12 p.m. under the fake sun, bathroom monitoring, P.O.C. This is Ontario PD, gang stalking under the fake sun that's over the same roof that it was at 2:47 p.m. where TORRES entered the venue. And also, as you saw this morning, while I'm showing you the fake sun, taking various images of it during the 11 a.m. hour, this is the same sidewalk. Ontario PD is gang stalking with the demons that are molesting with impossible light. All those demons that are gang stalking, they're doing so with the city of Ontario. This is license 1661856. That's a demon. He's stalking. Vehicle 1069. And the fake sun, that's where I was standing this morning adjacent to Arco, where the fake sun was in alignment to me, where Ontario, the city of Ontario, gang stalking, doing donuts in the sky space. This is the same location. These demons are gang stalking with the city of Ontario, a population of demons monitoring me while I'm inside of Starbucks, engaging in federal stalking. They are the demon possessed, and the fake sun is remaining over Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue. It's 6:20 p.m. See, TORRES is under the 2:47 p.m. fake sun that's over the same exact location, just like this. The entity is stalking in engineer light, stalking under a fake sun, targeting me, which Starbucks is targeting, employees are targeting, and the demon possessed, the co-defendants, engaging in a supernatural pattern of conduct when they're engaging in what is criminal monitoring together. I'm publishing the kidnapping that department engaged in, and I'm being molested with impossible light activity. There you go, P.O.C. TORRES is going to federal prison. That is not separate from this right here. It's criminal presence in the path under the fake sun. And this is the entity that's gang stalking, engaging in federal stalking, monitoring on the venue of the internet, committed kidnapping with Tracy Banks at Woodside Senior Apartments, where the fake sun is at the exact same time over her apartment building at 6:18 p.m. The Ontario being disbanded. They're gang stalking using vehicles and helicopters, and the LAPD is gang stalking in the specific environment where the fake sun is today, remaining outside of my bedroom window, remaining for the duration of the day. That's P.O.C. These are psychopaths gang stalking with the police in the specific. That's impossible light activity. That's the P.O.C. The Ontario Police Department engaging in criminal surveillance, and TORRES enters in engaging in that P.O.C. relevant to hostility of the entity while I'm publishing. This stalker comes in when I'm outside near my communication device. The entity is engaging in the P.O.C. while Ontario is maintaining surveillance through them. They're the demons stalked with impossible light. They're coming in and sitting inside of the venue while they're stalking in the path on behalf of that police department. Hostile about this, the kidnapping that they committed in concert with Arrowhead Regional Medical Center. Stalking in the path while they're walking in and out in engineer light that's flying inside like I'm documenting in images. This is P.O.C. It's currently 6:22 p.m. All right, molesting with light while I'm at the G Street Plaza, license 9LAC979, license 8Y68784, 9CTD616.
gang stalking in the plaza at G Street in Euclid, where the entity has a fake moon over me right now, adjacent to Woodside Senior Apartments, where the fake sun is rising and setting. I've already documented the fake sun at this intersection in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. License 9NRK431. They're gang stalking in the parking lot, surrounding with light. They're all demons. They're an engineered light. EBZ9V11 paper on a Impreza. P.O.C. License plate 9EK9346, I believe. 9EKP346, substantially similar. They're all stalking in the parking lot. License 9LAC979, in case I didn't read that one already. 5XIT528. DE11R40 paper. 9JKN312. 9BPT031. 98437B3. SALGAJR7ZFM695, 8DVX090, 9LNF008, 8WTK159, 8ROG316, 9DED021, J736B1, 9KB0375, Ontario International Airport, gang stalking with them, 7DVE365, 9LAB067, 9HMM338, molesting 8MXX093 and 9NBP453, 9LGA117, 9TOC189. This ghetto establishment at 130 G Street called The Gym, they're gang stalking. License 9JKN312 pacing, again crossing path, 8TZV431, and I read that one. I see 9TOC189, read that one. 9NBP453, read that one. 8NBR682, 9AUZ312. These are the demons of Ontario. They're all going to be prosecuted. They sat around in Starbucks all day under a fake sun, and the Ontario Police Department, the Ontario Fire Department, the Ontario International Airport provided a wealth of evidence again on another day against the people of the state who are going to be prosecuted for domestic terrorism. All right, by name, by company, 8Y68784. This is P.O.C. It's 10:01 p.m. A demon is molesting me at a distance with headlights. Headlights don't reach that far. All right, and headlights don't do the multiple shadow type thing. These are demons that are stalking in the path. Where I'm at is public knowledge. These are all demons that are stalking as a whole city effort in concert with the police who are gang stalking. They are going to be disbanded, the Ontario Police, P.O.C. All right, molesting my buttocks. These are the sex offenders that stalk me in the bathroom, that pace all around when my panties are down, that can't stop following me around everywhere, and are obsessively consumed with monitoring my vagina as well. This is the sex offender that's molesting. Impossible Light moves inside of the Pizza Hut while he is pulling up. That's not headlights, that's dancing in the corner when I'm being handed my food. You'll see a Caucasian male wearing a black cap. He's walking in gang stalking with Pizza Hut. License 9PDW887 is the sex offender's license plate. And he is wearing cargo shorts and a gray t-shirt. He's got heavy facial hair. You'll see him because I'm capturing images of this unattractive third-party gang stalking sex offender. And that's the work of the Ontario Police Department, by the way. It is currently 10:03 p.m. This is P.O.C., the people of the state engaging in gang stalking with the city police. They're not legitimate police. That's why they're being disbanded. I'm exposing their criminal activity. License 9FXP346 is engaging in it with them. Maintaining presence in the path with a method of light. They're all sex offenders, that mens rea of wanting to touch on you, relevant with regard to the engineered light, because they're monitoring. That's why they're all stalking in the path, wanting to touch me with light. Light that is also impossible to naturally occur. It's not occurring from headlights. Headlights don't create that sort of light activity, the engineered light that I've shown you. They're all a bunch of demons stalking in the middle of the night, stalking a woman together, which is why, again, a police department shall be disbanded for engaging in what is violence against women, as opposed to what is law enforcement. It is 10:04 p.m. This is P.O.C. All right, thank you. Amplified train activity. Tracy Banks is monitoring. License 9HUZ740. P.O.C. All right, like I stated, engaging in what is coming in the path through whatever means. You come into Starbucks and, again, arriving at Starbucks because she's always there. It has nothing to do with the fact that the fake son is over that Starbucks and the entity is gang stalking with the Ontario Police Department, her co-defendant, and she arrives volunteering to give me that which I did not contact or ask her for while she's pacing inside a Starbucks monitoring with the rest of these demons. Amplified train sounds right now at 10:07, 10:06 p.m. while Tracy Banks is in the path. Just want to document that. It is P.O.C. at the, this is the plaza that's adjacent to Woodside Senior Apartments, and I've documented the fake son. I documented the Ontario Police Department. Recall fall of 2024, the fake son, when I'm coming from LA, under no circumstances engaging in what the routine is when I'm at Woodside, the rise and set, because that's why I'm there in the morning and that's where I remain. When I don't start there, that's not where the fake son starts. That's why it remained over me from Los Angeles County out to Ontario, where I'm documenting the Ontario Police Department in September of 2024 under the afternoon fake son, where they're engaging what is gang stalking, criminal summoning with the people of the state, the demons that fling light. Those are the ones that they rely on when they're circling around them, pulling them over for traffic stops. And those demons are monitoring together under a fake sun that's in a manner that is irreconcilable with a natural environment. That's where I'm at right now. This is the plaza, however, off of Euclid and G Street. Yeah. So this is the P.O.C. It is currently 10:08 p.m.